Howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Today we have a 2024 Kyle Larson primary paint scheme. Holy cow, man. This paint scheme, it's been ran 1,000 times, but I love it. It is iconic. It's very nostalgic to the days back when you knew drivers by just their paint scheme, not just by their statistics. And that's what Kyle Larson and this Hendrickcars.com paint scheme, that's kind of how I feel about it. It is a throwback of throwbacks. So without further ado, let's go and check out the 2024 edition of the primary. Alrighty folks, right out the good old box, and let's dive into today's diecast review. Once again, the Kyle Larson primary is in the studio. This is the third year of the next gen era and the fourth year overall of Larson being behind the wheel of this paint scheme. What a fun era it's been. I feel like a lot of people, we unfortunately don't appreciate things until it's gone. And the Kyle Larson Hendrickcars.com era has been really, really fun to watch. I hope he runs this paint scheme until, he retires or whenever that is. But anyways, what an awesome looking diecast. Let's dive into it. Got the Kyle Larson front windscreen banner with a little gold Chevrolet badge. Very, very nice. Got the Hendrickcars.com logo. Awesome, awesome stuff. I love this paint scheme. Some people, they're bored of it. They're like, oh, he runs it every week. I don't want to break the news to you, but that's how paint schemes worked. Every race back in the 90s, 80s, 70s, up to the 2000s, and even parts of the 2010s. Every week, Jimmy Johnson, blue and silver Lowe's car. Or, you had Tony Stewart, bright orange Home Depot car. Labonte, bright green. That's how those drivers became so popular and iconic, is because they ran the same similar paint schemes every single week. Here's the reality. 20 years from now, Larson's already done retired. His statistics are in the Hall of Fame, X, Y, and Z. Every time you see this paint scheme, you're going to think Kyle Larson, right? That's just how it works. And it's really cool to see a driver kind of adopt that just signature paint scheme style. Logano did that for a long time with the Shell Pennzoil car. The only thing I didn't like about it is I didn't really find the paint scheme that good looking. That's just my honest opinion. This to me is a really good looking car. Okay, number 5 right there, Sunoco. The Camaro headlight decal looks, I don't know why, something looks a little off. Maybe a little bit lower on this side. Okay, Hendrickcars.com. The left side of the diecast got a couple bubbles on the door panel. That's unfortunate. I would say I could probably fix that, but it would probably crack it, and then they would leave just a random chip. So no fun on that. Anyways, I got Hendrickcars.com right there on the side. Valvoline number 40, Larson. Got their B post decal and a bunch of smaller decals. Got Cup Series, Goodyear. Very simple paint scheme. One of the best adaptations from the next gen Gen 6 to next gen, crossover. They just made this logo larger and then moved the 5 up. So I'm glad they at least kept the paint scheme. They didn't just, scrap it completely. Hendrickcars.com number 5, Camaro, Valvoline. Go to the right side of the diecast. Very, very cool looking stuff, guys. I picked this one up from our friends at Circle B Diecast. You can too. Make sure you use promo code Diecastbuffet, guys, and you can save on shipping on all of your new 2024 diecast. All of them, guys. Any orders $30 or more, guys, you could save on shipping. And guess what? If you order like 3 or 4 cars, a small haul, if you will, and your order is over 30, guess what? The shipping cost is $6. The code takes $6 off shipping. You essentially get free shipping. Really cool stuff, guys. Take advantage of that while that lasts. Go to the top of the car. I got a little bit of some paint chip flurries or something. I don't know what that is. If it's clear coated in, I can't remove it without damaging it. But if it's just on top of the car, we good. I feel like it's on top of the car. It's starting to come off now. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It left a little bit of a blemish, but you know what? It's better than nothing. Got the number 5 right there on the top of the car. One of the most iconic number fonts in the sport. Hiring text right there. Larson and Hendrickcars.com. Very sloppy, I might add. Unfortunately, the decal placement, it's not really lined up. But you know what? You're going to have a bugaboo now and then. So this whole debate about this paint scheme, guys, I hope that he doesn't change this car. I hope he keeps running this car. I really do. You know, his identity in the sport will be known by this paint scheme, not by the target car that he ran at Ganassi. This, to me, is his paint scheme now. You know, at first it was, okay, it's the 42 car driver driving the 5 car. Now it's Kyle Larson's 5 car. And if he wins another championship, maybe even 2 more, it will no longer be known as Terry Labonte's car. It will be known as Kyle Larson's car, statistically surpassing Terry Labonte. So that'll be a fascinating thing to see. Can Larson get that second championship and tie Terry Labonte in terms of career statistics for the championship category? But I love seeing good-looking paint schemes stay on track. In a day and age of NASCAR right now, there's a gajillion different paint schemes. They look cool, but there is a demographic of fans that like to see the same thing to become used to it, and it's kind of it's welcoming. It's easy to see, oh, that's Brad Keselowski's car. That's Jimmy Johnson's car, X, Y, and Z. When Brad K ran the Miller Lite 2 every week, it was very simple to know that's Brad K. Every week, Brad K has a different sponsor. There's like 15, 20 different sponsors every year for Brad Keselowski. You look at Kyle Busch, M&M's. Every time you sell M&M's, you thought Kyle Busch. Now you have 15 different sponsors every year. Austin Dillon, how many alternate paint schemes did he have? Eric Almirola, yes, he was a Smithfield car, but he had like 25 different paint schemes every year. It's hard to build up a driver in terms of popularity in an iconic way, marketing-wise, when you have a lot of different looks. There's a reason why brands keep their same colors for so long. I mean, you think about Napa Auto Parts. They've been blue and yellow since, decades. Pennzoil, yellow, Quaker State, green. There's a reason why it builds that brand continuity with the fans. And it subconsciously or consciously works with drivers as well in NASCAR. When you have teams constantly changing, it does kind of ruin that continuity with the fan that, okay, that's that driver this week. That's that driver this week. For me, it doesn't work on me because I actually like alternate paint schemes. I love seeing different sponsors in the sport. But I've seen a lot of comments throughout the years. Every single week, drivers are in a different car. I don't know who's driving what. You go to a random race in 2008, 2007, 2002, whatever it be, Mark Martin's driving the same paint scheme. Terry Labonte, same paint scheme. Jeff Gordon, same paint scheme. There's a reason why 20 years later, people are still in love with those paint schemes because they saw them every week. It was a huge part of their life. And when you change it all the time, it's hard to have that continuity with that brand, that image, X, Y, and Z. I hope I didn't bore you to death, but that's just kind of my 2 cents on the debate of alternate paint schemes compared to having one major paint scheme. And let's just be clear. Alternate paint schemes have been in the sport since the dawn of time, okay? That's pretty much what it's been. Richard Petty has had different looks to his cars. Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, they've all had a 1 or 2 different looks to their cars. But it kicked off majorly in the 90s with the all-star paint schemes for Dale. And then Rusty Wallace would have the Elvis car, and Jeff Gordon would have a Superman car, the Chrome Illusion car. They would run maybe 30 out of the 33, 36 races the exact same paint scheme. But they might have 2 different alternates. My point is, I think that's why Larson is so popular, partially not only because he's one of the best drivers out there, arguably the most talented motorsports guy, but because he's starting to build up that iconic, that the impact of the sport is going to still be Kyle Larson and the Hendrickcars.com paint scheme long after he's retired. That's what it looks like to me. That's all for now. Diecast Buffet, signing off.